Hello, hello, hello. My name is Spicer McLeroy, and welcome to our first freshman speed sculpt critique. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the links below. I have a video of my speed sculpt for this assignment. I always ensure that I do every assignment that I give out to students so that they can see how it's done, what they needed, and they can always refer to it. And just to show them, what type of level that can be achieved, how I approach it. So if you're interested in that, definitely take a look down below. Click that Batman Speed Sculpt link, and you'll be able to check that out. But just to give you a little background, these freshmen have had, I think one student has had some experience in ZBrush, but everyone else has come to me without any knowledge of how to sculpt, no knowledge of facial anatomy, and no knowledge of how to sculpt in ZBrush. So they are in their fourth week. We just finished their fourth week, and I've just been having them sculpt about 45 minutes to an hour twice a week, whatever they do on their own time. I think a few do sculpt on their own time. But yeah, other than that, let's get started. And we are going to start with who is first? Who is first? Josh. Josh. Let's take a look. Alrighty. So for their first assignment, it was Batman. And let's take a look. Okay. So first thing that I'm seeing is that this is coming all to a point, right? All this is coming to a point. And remember, the skull doesn't do that. If anything, it should be flattened, like right around here, or everything should be pulled up. Depending, due to the length of the head, I would probably just move all this back so we can get a nice, believable cranial structure. Something like that, right? So pull that all back, pull this forward, and make sure this isn't so boxy. And we need a little bit longer of a neck. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get my mask lasso. Just grab that, hold control, and oops, and then I can fade the mask, bring it down probably around there. Okay. And then we can just merge these two together. So make sure to not have these starts. Make sure to not not make a habit of doing that just yet. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it up one spot, and then I'm gonna go to the top head, and then just merge it down. Okay, and then redynamesh it. Now it's all together. Okay. So I'm just gonna go here, and before we get to the face, just gonna go to the neck because this is gonna be something that we're gonna have to go over again and again, and I just think we should just start now. So first thing about the neck is that you need to keep it cylindrical. You see how we have these dips and these dives and everything, and we have it going out like that angle, right? Whenever we're setting this up, what we want to do is we want to make it really cylindrical, just to set it up. Oops, wrong one. Something like that. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the Adam's apple or the esophagus is separate, has its own form and shape. Okay. This other shape that you're trying to get is called the sternocleidomastoid. Comes from right behind, remember, right behind the ear. We're talking about that mastoid process on the skull. That's where it's coming from. Right. And then we can just smooth it out. And right here, we don't really have anything. At least to set it up, we don't have anything going on right there. Okay. And get that going. Okay. And we probably want to shorten this head a bit. It looks a bit long. Okay. And do. And for someone like Batman, he's generally like pretty built physically. So I would make sure that the neck, this sternocleidomastoid, is coming either meeting the jaw or just coming outside of it, and then that'll give him a bit more believability when you're trying to represent him being muscular. Um, then this, we can just add a little angle to it, right? And probably still bring this in a bit. I'm just going to bring these down just so they're a little bit more manageable. Bring that in somewhere around there. Okay. So, and just make sure that this is coming out far enough. And let's get to the face. Let's get to the face. Okay, so pretty much from the glabella, you can just get a V going right here. This is a glabella for those who are just joining. This little trapezoidal shape in between each superciliary arch. Okay, you can just draw a V back just to approximate it. That's not going to be the final shape, but just to start planning things out, you can do that. Right, and next thing we really, especially for the Batman mask, is his orbital socket is really, really pronounced. So we don't want to lose that. Okay, so just going to go here and remember that the tilt on this is going to be 17 degrees, right? So your medial canthal tendon is going to lead the head. Okay. And just going to fix some of these shapes and grab those eyes, move them forward. And I think they're too big. Yes, these are way too big. Okay. Somewhere around there. Bring them forward. They're probably right around there in terms of the relation to the brow. And I'll send it back just a little, just so we can leave room for the cowl, but probably would want to keep it around there so you can see how far yours was in there. So we're going to pull this forward. There we go. Now we can pull this out. And especially for someone like Batman, we want a chin, right? He's going to have a nice testosterone-filled chin. Okay, remember like those skulls we saw that were suffering from, or not suffering, but that were influenced by gigantism. You know, we kind of want to lend some of those shapes to someone as imposing as Batman. And then again, your face is just coming to a point. You need to really get these overall shapes to the face instead of just everything coming to a point. All right, moving this back. And generally, what's going to happen is that the bottom lip will be behind the front lip. And then you got the modialis that we are talking about in class. Okay. And you're missing a lot of malar fat here. And we always gotta, especially on a cow like Batman, all this zygomatic temporal arch really needs to be paid attention to. And remember, I brought the skull and we got this little ledge right here. Those that had everyone run their finger over. So you gotta make sure you hit that as well. And the widest part should be right around here. And submental fat right there. We can probably block out that throat a bit more. And the problem with this is that it's curving in. It needs to be curving forward. And then we can move that in, this back. And smooth, smooth, smooth. And get that going. Ready? And let's see. I think what I'm gonna do is just resculpt this. I think it'll be easier than fixing what we have. So again, we gotta make sure we're paying attention to that infraorbital furrow. All right, again on this cow, I choose these things because they're accentuating or really highlighting the rules that we've been going over in class. Right. So going to roughly build that back, then build it up, redynamesh, and now we've got something we can work with. Okay. Glabella should be leading the head, which it is. This right here, we just gotta, again, bring that infraorbital furrow back. Make sure this is going into and behind the infraorbital furrow. And canthal tendon. Right, canthal tendon, canthal tendon. Okay. And then we can put this, we'll just smooth this out for right now. Bring that in. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Do. And let's work on that Cupid's bow right here. 1 pad, 2 pads. And then on the bottom one, it's just split right down the middle. Each pad on each side. And then you've got this, what, fulcrum, something? God, I always get that mixed up. Right there. You got the nasolabial fold right here, going up. Okay. And fix this mouth a bit. I'm going to try that again. So first, let's get the barrel of the mouth, right? Orbicularis oris. And make sure we have enough going on here. And then modialis. Damn standard. Draw that in. Make sure that the bottom lip is coming from within the top lip. Generally, that's the way it goes, unless you're doing Thanos or something. Put that little form right here. We can get our move brush, pull that up, and just get the overall arc of it, and then we can fill in the shape with our form soft and standard brush, and then just clean up the forms. Put in the modialis, gels, and then obviously a bigger chin. Okay. Smooth that out, and then we can just accentuate everything. Okay. Pull that back. Remember that master line that we were talking about? Something like that. Obviously, I can't resculpt every single one, but because we got like 17 to go through, but you generally just want to stick to the anatomy and then just accentuate it afterwards. And you can really reinforce that right there to make sure the orbital socket doesn't just get destroyed. That type of thing. All right, we can bring that nose down. Bring that down. Widen his jaw. Something like that. Again, like I said in class, you don't need to get Batman's jaw. You don't need to get Batman's nose or Batman's anything. You just need to get a nose proportionally set, lips proportionally set, and then you can come in here with this move brush and then start putting out your proportions and spreading them across. Here I'm using the damn standard and turning off symmetry. So we have some interest up here. Okay, turning symmetry back on. But yeah, and then you can just push and pull it, move it, twerk it, whatever you need to, and then you can make it into Batman after that. So just worry about getting the rules down. Portion, the rules of the face first, and then you can move it and do whatever you want, right? But I would do something like that, okay? Because I don't want to be spending 30 minutes on 17 different, 17 different pieces. But that's what I would do before even putting the cowl on, right? So take a look at that. Make sure your orbital socket's there. Make sure all your proportions. Make sure the length of your, like this probably, we can move that back. And something like that. Okay, and then again, making sure the neck's out there, and then we're gonna give him a little bit longer of a neck. Okay, yeah, something like that. So let's see who is next. Next is David. David.